Good evening and welcome to day 32 of the challenge. Wow, that's so exciting. Tonight, I want to talk to you about, well, first of all, I have to do what's it called? A trigger warning, something like that. I'm not sure the right term, but a trigger, well, I'll call it that, a trigger warning. I'm going to say the word fart, probably multiple times, because I'm going to tell you a story that involves that. But it's a good story and it has a point, trust me. When I was in college, freshman in college, my very first semester, my very first roommate ever was this really sweet girl. And I don't know how, because it's been a really long time since then, 40 something years. I don't know how this conversation started, but I noticed that she farted all night in her sleep. And somehow that came up in conversation. And she looked at me very seriously and she said, "I don't fart." And I said, "Really?" And she was dead serious. I mean, she did not think she farted. And she said, "I don't fart." And I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of impossible. Everybody farts. I said, "Well, don't you ever feel like you need to?" And she said, "Sure, but I just hold them in. I never let them out." And I pointed out to her that, well, her body lets them out as she sleeps. And she's like, "Nope, that doesn't happen. You're lying. I don't fart." Now, I tell you this story because it is a blatant example of how we lie to ourselves. Oh yeah. It was the biggest case of denial I think I've ever seen. But it's so true. We lie to ourselves. We can do a phenomenal job of it. This right here, this thing, our brain, our minds, it's a very powerful thing. And it can tell us stuff that isn't true, and we believe it. It can also tell us things that are true, and we should believe it. Like how awesome we are. We have to be really careful how much we lie to ourselves. I know I do it. You want to hear some of my lies that I tell myself? All right. My worst lie to myself probably is something along the lines of, "You're not very smart, Viv. You don't remember your childhood very well. You can't work your computer very good, so you can't be very smart." Another thing I tell myself, or I did, not anymore, because I changed all this up in here, but I used to say, "Who would ever want to hear what you have to say?" I used to be very quiet, kept all my thoughts to myself. I was very private. I didn't speak until I was spoken to. I didn't give my opinion unless somebody asked me for it. And then I was very, very careful of what I said. Not anymore. You guys have really helped me with that. You've helped me see that people do want to hear what I have to say. And that just fills my heart. I didn't think I could ever be a good speaker. And the way I got over that was enough people believed in me and said to me, "You're a phenomenal speaker." And sometimes we have to leave our own mindset and our own beliefs, and we kind of have to jump into the brain and behind the eyes of the people who are looking back at us saying, "You're really great." And we have to see ourselves through their eyes and then start to believe what they see. That's how I got past that I'm not a very good speaker. I had enough people come up to me and ask me to speak. I'm like, "You want me to speak? Really? Why?" "Because you're really good at it, Viv." Think about how you lie to yourself. The stuff you tell yourself that just isn't true, and you know it deep in your heart. You know it's not true, and you've had so many people tell you otherwise. And I want you to stop it. I want you to stop lying to yourself. And if you have to jump behind the eyes of somebody else for a little while and see yourself through their eyes so you can see how awesome you are, then do that. But stop believing your lies. That's all I have for tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Good night.